Alrighty, welcome to another Lackey Grand Prix match. Today we are fighting the Guardian. Played the Guardian a couple of times on this channel. So far, we have lost every single game we played against them, so hopefully today we draw some blood. Alrighty, let's take a look here. Our opening hand contains Herodias Daughter, contains Chronicle of the Kings, Captain of the Host, Herod Philip II, Overtaken, alright, nice, Buckler, Wheel Within a Wheel, and Herod's Executioner. Okay, pretty bummed to see Herod's Executioner and Herodias' Daughter in play, or in my opening hand. They're pretty weak on turn 1, because I can't really get to my reserve. But Buckler can go get Michael, so at least I have a decent turn 1 attack here. And I have Overtaken. Okay. I do have Prosperity, so I can discard a card in my hand to draw 2. So maybe discard one of these weaker evil characters to try and draw some more gas here. All right, let's see who gets to go first. They got a 4. What did I roll? I don't remember. All right, Guardian gets to choose. He wants to go second. Don't have any star abilities. So remember, star abilities resolve before lost soul abilities resolve. Let's see what he has. Herodias' Daughter will reserve the top card of a deck. And then a Virgin Birth is going to take a card. All right, the top card of my deck was a Humble Lost Soul, so that doesn't get reserved. That instead gets put into my Land of Bondage. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit congested right now. I just drank a milkshake from Chick-fil-A and my stomach is feeling all bloaty. Remind myself not to drink milkshakes before I record anything. It's not a pleasant experience, let me tell you. It feels good in the moment, but you certainly start to reject it. Okay, this card, 20 shekels. He ended up getting this card. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on this card. This card wrecks. It may seem really unassuming, but this card just wrecks, man. I want to make a masterclass on this video one day. There's so many things you can do with this card, and yeah, I just want to make a masterclass on it. All right, let's take a look through his deck here. He is playing a Gospel of Christ attack with a kind of splashy defense focused on drawing cards. I'm sure I could have paused the video there. We could have talked at length about his deck, but I honestly feel like I'm not quite there yet at like a skill level to really talk about those decisions right now. I'm gonna discard Herodias' Daughter because she's like pretty bad on turn 1 and just try to draw some gas. Okay, Jew Son of God, Daniel version, that's nice. And Daniel, bada bing, bada boom. Nice. All right, I guess we're still resolving lost soul abilities here, huh? So for those who have been following this tournament for me, I started with a Gospel of Christ Good Stuff deck, and I've been trying out a Daniel deck now. The reason being is I feel like people are so ready to block Matthew on turn 1 with a Herdsman of Gerar. If they have this card, I mean, it just doesn't feel good. If you attack with Matthew and they have this card, I mean, you end up equal in cards. It just feels like people are ready to fight Matthew. All right. I don't know if you heard that sneeze there or anything. But I'm just going to try to get Daniel down and band him to Michael and call it a day. So yeah, I wanted to play an offense that these kind of like splashy defenses aren't really equipped to deal with. Sure, they're equipped to deal with Matthew, but they're not equipped to able to deal with Daniel banded to Michael. This touches a lot of different bases. Number 1, negating any sort of fortresses in their territory. That's not super relevant right now. Maybe like negating Sheol. Sheol's not in territory, it's in set-aside area, but this blanket negate affects that too. Negates evil characters, so if your characters aren't CBP, which is cannot be prevented, Daniel's going to hit those. New Testament enhancements. A lot of defenses run New Testament enhancements. And then banded to Michael, this is tossing all multi-brigade evil enhancements. So that line of text on Michael's surprisingly good. A lot of defenses are running like really good multicolor evil enhancements. All right, Lion Prophet coming in here. If blocking, you may discard a good prophet. I guess he could have discarded one of my prophets here, huh? But he chose to reveal my hand and draw cards. He drew 1 card. I'm sure opponent would have loved to draw more from that. And before I attacked, I activated Overtaken so that when my Daniel attacked, this card would trigger. So my cards are CB in, which is cannot be negated. That's going to be really helpful on defense this turn, I feel like. Okay, so the reason I didn't attack with Captain of the Host that turn is I wanted to try and use my Wheel Within a Wheel if I could. because I want to get that search off. I want to get those 2 LT Angels from deck. And if I played with Captain, this card was being prevented. I felt pretty confident because I had Wheel Within a Wheel, and I also had a Chronicle of the Kings, which I could play it in battle to negate and discard all evil enhancements. I need to be careful, though, that if I do play it as a good dominant, it is going to negate and discard all curses, so my Overtaken would get hit by that. So I'm probably incentivized to just play this as evil enhancement. So I do have a pretty strong band here. I can play a Herod's Executioner, and I know I can't really search the reserve on turn 1. That's a rule. But I can ban to a Herod to protect the Herod from opponents. So luckily, I do have a Herod. If I just ban to him, that says cannot be negated protection. So Herod's Executioner still going to be really good on turn 1. All right, 20 shekels being activated. He's bouncing my Daniel to my hand, and he's playing a character. Let's see what he gets. Herod Philip is now in territory. I don't like when my characters are in my territory. It makes me scared. They're vulnerable there. And now my opponent has perfect information. So we'll see if they can get through this block here. Okay, so here's a line of... Oh wait, let's focus on what he's doing before I talk to you about what I was thinking of. Matthew the Publican entering battle, converting to Meek, revealing hand, and drawing 4 cards. So he just uses 20 shekels to bounce Daniel to my hand. Really smart play because that added 2 more brigades to my hand. So he basically drew 2 extra cards off of that. Okay, so here's a trick that you have. If you have a card that says discard a card from reserve, you can look at the reserve, but you just can't remove cards from it on turn 1. So I do get to see what he's up to. Mary Holy Virgin, Simon, Jephthah. Okay, so that's good information for later. Herod Philip coming in. I get to draw a card. And that's my block. Feeling pretty good so far. They have to have a card that's regardless of protection right now, because I don't know what they can do to get through this. Okay, so let's take a look at some of those cards we peeked at. So they had a Jephthah. Once per game, you discard the top card of your deck to discard up to 2 evil characters. And that card's usually got out by this card. You may banish this hero to add Jephthah from reserve to battle and choose a human in opponent's territory to block Jephthah. So if you're playing a card like 20 shekels where you're playing characters down, it's pretty scary because then that makes him really vulnerable for Jephthah to just come out and discard them. He also had a Simon the Zealous. This is another choose the blocker card. So opponent's deck is all about choosing the blocker, apparently. He has disciples to draw and then cards that choose the blocker. Spirit as a Dove is going to grab a New Testament card from... Good New Testament card. Okay. And that's just going to get them a Crowd's Choice, which converts to any card in their deck. That's scary. We killed Matthew, but he's able to turn his rescue into a Crowd's Choice. All right, Bethlehem Stable. That's threatening to grab nativity cards from his reserve every turn. And I definitely don't want him grabbing Mary Holy Virgin from his reserve. So, all right, so he just played a Son of God on my Humble Soul and passes the turn to me. If you're playing a Daniel deck, I'd really recommend playing Complacent and trying to craft your dominance in a way where you don't have to play dominance during battle phase. Not only does this make your defense stronger, I have a lot more plays I can do with the Herods if I'm not worried about opponent's dominance being played during battle. It also makes your Daniels a lot stronger during battle. All right, let's think about what I can do here. I'm using a trick that if you've watched my Three Woes masterclass, you would recognize. It's the upkeep trigger. So during my upkeep, if I have a Three Woes in my hand, I can play it, choose to negate something, and then when the upkeep trigger happens, I can negate something else for a round. So I negated his Matthew, and I negated his Bethlehem Stable. Honestly, if I'm thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't have negated Matthew, and maybe I should have negated Angel of the Winds, because I know he's playing Jephthah's Daughter. He can just go get Jephthah's Daughter, and Jephthah is just going to take out my evil characters, and it's just going to be a disaster, you know? All right, so I'm playing a bit sloppy here. I'm just kind of moving my characters to battle. I didn't ask my opponent if I didn't like tell my opponent I was going to battle. So when I'm playing games on Lackey, I need to be careful and kind of be really intentional with what I'm typing, especially if we're not doing a voice chat. But I think my opponent is understanding here, and I'm accommodating as well. So he uses Crowd's Choice to go grab Murder's Command, which discard a hero in my territory. Good thing he used that during, yeah. Okay, I just lost my Michael. Okay, so he did that before going to battle, which means I can still activate artifacts. Okay, so I'm going to try this play. Great White Throne. I'm going to banish an evil card and search for a good card. And here's my reasoning. I can get Abed-nego, and I can get a card from my reserve, which can help me get back Michael. So I have Daniel's Prayer sitting in my reserve. So if I put that on top of my deck, next turn, I can get Michael back. So that's what I'm going to do. I was going to just attack with Daniel Michael, but opponent changed my plans. So yeah, here's that Daniel's Prayer going on top of my deck. So I can bandit Daniel, and I can also bandit Daniel's Guardian. So not a super strong attack here. Pretty weak to like scattered effects here. But I'm pretty much covered against anything else. He's blocking with the character, and there's the scattered. Yep, he had it. So all these cards are getting underdecked. So if opponent can get rid of my Great White Throne, he's going to cause me a lot of trouble, because I need Daniel back. Daniel's Prayer does nothing if my Daniel is gone. I mean, I guess I can get a Daniel Angel from deck, but yeah. Okay, Herod's Guard is in my hand. I have a lot of strong blocking options. Not as strong as they could have been, though, if I kept Overtaken enough. But there is that trade-off for me. Is like, do I keep using Overtaken, or do I try to get my offense back online again? And I decided to try and get the offense going. I don't feel like my Herods can stand up against his deck in a long-running game, so I feel like I just need to keep the pressure up. Especially since the opponent is so good at disrupting me in my territory. If I felt safe in my territory, maybe kind of would have played it more conservatively here. My hand's not super strong, but maybe my cards are just good enough to help me here. Second Coming, gonna get back Son of God, and he's gonna rescue another lost soul. He's gonna taking Complacent off the table. Don't love to see that. I wish this card was in play while he was attacking. Here's Jephthah's Daughter, and here's that play I only saw this play in retrospect. I was negating Matthew with my Three Woes, thinking about, I don't want him to draw cards, but look at my hand. I only have like silver cards in hand, you know? He would have only drawn one card with Matthew. I should have been more worried about what the Angel of the Winds could have done to me. So in the future, that's what I'm going to do. So he just took out two of my really good evil characters, two of my really good cards. And Herod Philip, he's out left to dry. I would have loved to just block with Executioner or Herod's Guard there, but you know, there's nothing I can do there. And that's really sad. Okay, so he has lost 3 lost souls, and I have 2. Let's see how I can get this game back online. Okay, I drew Golgotha. All right, so I almost make a misplay here. So I put down my Angel, and then I played Daniel's Prayer, but I quickly realized that I needed to go get Daniel first. So I should have been communicating more to my opponent about what I was going through. And so yeah, so what I was trying to do is I was trying to activate Great White Throne before playing Daniel's Prayer. And yeah, it's a little bit sloppy on my part here. All right, so yeah, use Great White Throne to grab Daniel, and then Daniel's Prayer is going to grab Michael back. And now our offense is back online. Golgotha grabs a gospel character. So I'm playing really sloppy today, man. I was trying to grab the Deceiver, but he's a 2nd John card. So I apologize to my opponent, Mr. Guardian, and thank him for being so gracious to me on this turn. Herod the Great coming down. All right, I have Servants by the River. This is probably one of the better, let's see. This is really good Angel. Okay, he's going to be playing at Three Woes here, negating Throne. I feel like if he had Three Woes, there was a window, like right after I activate Three Woes, or right after activate Great White Throne, I feel like there's a window where he could have asked for Dominant Initiative, and he could have negated Great White Throne, and now I'd be stuck with the Daniel's Prayer in my hand. I feel like if we were playing with a voice chat on, that might have happened, but since we're kind of typing and I'm just kind of doing things here, it probably wasn't super clear what was going on. But negating Great White Throne did mean Daniel had to go back to the deck. Right now, I'm expecting him to use his Philistine Armor Bearer to go grab a Goliath. Goliath is gonna just, sorry, we gotta find the right Goliath. Goliath! Negate ban, draw, play abilities, withdraw heroes. Opponent may present a new hero. So I'm fully expecting him to play Goliath, push my guys out of battle, and I'm gonna be very sad. That's the reason why I kept Captain back in my hand. I wanted to be able to play Captain and then maybe try to beat Goliath in a battle by numbers. I do have the Wheel Within a Wheel 4/4, which is probably one of the strongest enhancements you can have in a battle by numbers. And I did have a Chronicles of the Kings to negate and discard any enhancements. So even if he had a Goliath, I felt pretty strong about beating him in battle. All right, Philistine Armor Bearer. He actually did not go for the... Okay, didn't go for the exchange here. I'm just really confused if he's not playing Goliath in his deck. All right, Stricken. That card is getting tossed, so he's going to decrease Michael by 5/5 here. And he's also going to toss a Tenants Kill the Sun. That's going to decrease Michael 3 more. Okay. I think that gives me initiative. So now this is the perfect time to play my wheel within a wheel. Let's just negate his Armor Bearer, negate that search. Let's see, what do I want? Definitely want Foretelling Angel, that's for sure. And Daniel's Guardian can get back Daniel. Great. Those are two, I feel like those are the only 2 angels left in my deck anyways. Okay, so this is perfect setting me up for next turn. All right, and that was good enough to get the battle. Nice. Time for the Foretelling Angel. Set up my little box and start revealing top card of my deck. Mayhem. I wish this card was in my hand right now. I'd put down all my cards and then play Mayhem and then draw 6 new cards. That would have been so nice. Is there any way I can draw that? I can use Outsiders to draw it. Yeah. Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to draw cards. Let's see what opponent has at his disposal here. All right. He's going to use his 3 Woes to keep it on my throne. So that card is still being negated. Okay. I think it's now time to start deactivating throne and activate Overtaken again. So you just see how this card is just wrecking me this game, man. Let's see. He gets perfect information, so he knows what I'm going to do when I block. And he gets to put characters in my territory, which is super annoying. Especially because if Outsiders cares if I have less cards in my territory than him. So every card he's putting in my territory is actually making it harder for me to actually pull off an Outsiders block. The underdeck version of the Outsiders block, I should say. Okay, playing Herod the Great down. I'm trying to think if like this deck should be playing some sort of hand protection card. There's like Lost Souls that give hand protection. There's Fortresses that give hand protection. But I don't know. I don't have any good ways to get out the Lost Souls that early, and I don't have any ways to search up Fortresses. But maybe it's still worth it. Maybe I could play like a Bethlehem Stable and then play a Lost Child Found in the reserve. Because one of this deck's weaknesses is Pot of Manna. And the current version of this deck doesn't play a lot of answers to this card. And so if I were able to have access to this in my reserve, I could use this to get a turn that I could break through his defense if they were using Pot of Mana. So that's a thing I might add to the deck. I might add Bethlehem Stable. Oh man, this card is so annoying. Look, he just reserved the top card of my deck. No. He's revealing a good dominant from hand to take a good gold enhancement from discard pile. I don't think he has one. I saw he had Angel of the Lord in his hand. Okay. Is there anything I can do against Angel of the Lord here? I don't know. He doesn't have board advantage, so I can't use Outsiders to block. What can I do? I don't have any ways to get Herods out of my deck, the ones that are protected from dominance. Yeah, opponent's putting me in some really difficult situation. All right, Herod the Great. I think the best thing I have to do is just Herod the Great and get my Herod's Temple out and take the Angel of the Lord. Not take the Angel of the Lord, but like have Herod the Great get killed by Angel of the Lord. The cool thing about Herod's Temple is I can use it with Foretelling Angel to try and curate the top card of my deck to be a card that I actually want to draw. So let's see. I didn't really want to draw that card. I'm trying to draw. I actually don't know what I'm looking for. Yep, there's Angel of the Lord, and Herod's just going to eat it there, and there's nothing I can do. So Herod's Temple, the battle's not over. During battle, I can still activate this card, and I can activate it 4 times in a turn. So there's the second time. And then if the top card of my deck is a Daniel card, I can use this guy. It's a manual activated ability. I can use it to draw him. So I've used Herod's Temple twice. I've used Foretelling Angel once. So each card can get used 4 times. So right now I'm just trying to go through my deck and just try to get as many cards as possible here. Combo! Do Daniel. And let's see. I guess we get one more look. Boom, put that Lost Soul in play. And the top card of my deck is Deceiver. That's a great card. I love this card. All right, I have to give the opponent the Lost Soul. The reason I'm keeping a Meek Lost Soul token is I do play Duplicity, and I can draw cards if I have Meek Lost Souls. All right, so let's see. He has 4. He has 4 Lost Souls, and I have 3. I haven't updated the score yet. Apologize for that. I have to work on my muscle memory, like saving the game. Oh, there I did. Saving the game each time somebody scores. I'm usually pretty good about it, but I just got to be more consistent about that. Okay, so my defense really needs to hold up here, or else there's no way I can win. Have I played the Second Coming yet? I always forget. Because if not, I just have to rescue one more Lost Soul and draw my Second Coming, And I win the game. Wages of Sin, he's playing this as his territory class. He's grabbing a card with a discard ability. It's going to be Warrior Overtaken. So he's probably going to try to snipe my characters in my territory. All right, my turn. On the surface, this card feels like a... Wait, not this card. Reprimand. This card seems like it'd be good in Daniel deck, but the white characters that I'm attacking with, 2 of them negate this card. Daniel negates New Testament enhancements, and like Shadrach or Meshach, he prevents the first non-Daniel enhancement played. So I think about cutting this card, gonna add something better. Maybe like a Revolt. I don't think this version is playing Revolt, but this card's pretty good. I like banning to the evil characters. Okay, so let's see. Herod Agrippa, that's an amazing draw. Choose my color guard, so I can have a little bit of fire insurance between Herod's Temple and color guard here. Overtaking, the shields are coming back up. Time to go to battle. I'm expecting them to kill my Michael here with their dominant. I was hoping to draw that cross that turn and activate the cross. That would have stopped them from being able to kill my Michael if they didn't play it before I activated my cross. Okay, they don't have any Philistines. No Goliath. Glad to see no Goliath. I don't know if I could beat a Goliath right now. Okay, Meshach is going to prevent the next enhancement except a Daniel enhancement. We draw 1. Oh, second coming. There it is on top of my deck. Okay, so if I can win this rescue attempt and then draw a card, then we're golden. Servants by the River is going to protect Daniel human heroes from lone evil characters. So this is bad news for the opponent if they don't have an answer to my protection here. So pretty decent banding chain, even without Michael. I guess I have a backup. Let's say they play a character and then they play an enhancement. Then I'd be able to play Reprimand Repercussion because that's... Wait, no, Daniel is negating New Testament. Yeah, dude, why am I playing Reprimand Repercussion? I'm a silly willy. I also have a Chronicle of the Kings I've been holding on to since the first turn of the game. Same with my captain. I don't have any way to ban a captain right now, but I think my only way I put ban to ban a captain is Michael, and Michael's gone. Like in some matchups, this card's going to be really good. In matchups like this card just felt like really wasted space. I wish it was like any other dominant right now. It's just so redundant. You know, I'm attacking with Daniel. I'm already negating enhancements. Like I don't need more of this effect. The reason I put it in the deck is that I was more worried about the Temple Artifacts part. But if the opponent's deck isn't playing Temple Artifacts, this card just kind of sitting here, you know? All right, he gives me the Lost Soul. Wow. I'm thinking of cutting Chronicle of the Kings, putting Valley Dry Bones in it. Well, the weakness of this deck is if Daniel or Michael gets captured, I don't have any ways to get him back. So if I had a Valley of Dry Bones, I could get my heroes back and add them to battle. So this works if they're discarded or if they're captured. I feel like this card could address a lot of the weaknesses of Daniel, the Daniel deck. Okay, so I feel like my opponent is basically locked into having to attack with Bartimaeus this turn. Because if they don't, and just allow me to block with Outsiders, Outsiders gets to draw a card, and I drew my second coming, and like, I just win the game. He has a star ability he's thinking about. So Guardian and I were talking after the game, and he was thinking about a line here. He has a Life Through Christ in his hand. So he can banish this card to play a New Testament single brigade human hero from discard pile or reserve. Protect that hero from evil cards this turn. And you know, we saw a Simon the Zealous, and he could have played my Herod Agrippa down. This is an Axe card, and Axe is not a Gospel card. And so this Herod, he would have been vulnerable because Simon was negating Lost Souls and Herod wasn't being protected. So he would have chosen Herod Agrippa to block and probably played a battle winner to destroy Herod Agrippa. And I can't use Herod Agrippa to just negate Simon because Simon converted to Meek. So we were talking after the game about that play, and that was a line my opponent was considering, but ultimately decided to not go for, or I feel like he was, the card on top of my deck was Second Coming. It was really trying to make me not draw that card. So, okay, bounce Daniel. I do have Overtaken out. Let's check my reserve. I have a Foreign Wives. I have Herod Antipas. All right, he's playing Herod Archelaus down. Okay. I don't think I have board advantage for Outsiders. I don't think I have any other evil characters in my deck. Yeah, I think they're all out there. So a card that I think I should be playing around right now is Ride On Victoriously. And I do a terrible job of playing around this card during this battle. You'll see why in a moment. I don't know if opponents actually playing this card, but this is a card to keep on the radar, especially if people are playing Meek heroes. And watch what he does here. He's playing a Meek John. He was like, why in the world would you play a Meek John here? To me, that like signals he either had maybe a Ride-On. He was going to be able to, but then like, you don't need to play your John down because you can just add John from your hand into battle with Ride-On. But we talked about after game, and the reason he did this was for the Life Through Christ. He needed a clay hero in order to play this card. All right, Three Woes is going to be negating Herod's Temple, so the protection is down. Watchful Servant, and a ban to Bartimaeus, and there goes my second coming off the top of my deck. Do have an Abed-nego there, so it's a Daniel card. All right, what am I going to do here? Bartimaeus cannot be negated, or else I try to negate it with my Herod Agrippa here. So I could use the Deceiver to go grab the Foreign Wives. Honestly, don't know what the best block is here. Maybe it was Foreign Wives. But I decided to block with Herod Agrippa. I figured he's protected. I can save Foreign Wives for later, but yeah, I don't know. I think I was just scared of maybe an effect that was like, regardless of protection, hurt somebody. And I guess I felt safer with Herod Agrippa. I don't know. I also could have got Herod Antipas, and then Herod Antipas could have gotten Romans destroy Jerusalem. I think I would have had initiative to play it, and I just would have destroyed his stuff, cannot be negated. I feel like I had a couple of good blocks this turn. So he's playing a Teaching in Parables. He's going to look at my hand and get rid of an evil card. Deceiver is gone. So yeah, it's like if I use it, or it's a use it or lose it, and I didn't use it, so I lost it. And here I go for a reprimand. I didn't need to do this, but I was scared he was just going to keep playing enhancements that were going to do something to me. I just wanted him out of battle. But like I said earlier, this is really bad against a card like whatchamacallit, Ride-On. Because like now he has the opportunity to play a dominant. He could have added John to the battle, and Herod Agrippa is only protected from more than one hero. So luckily he didn't have it Ride-On. Maybe he plays it, I don't know. I feel like I was pretty lucky there to get, yeah. Okay, end of turn. Let's do some Foretelling Angel things. I was just trying to dig for Crowd's Choice, maybe. Oh, there's Crowd's Choice. And I couldn't have used Herod's Temple because it was getting negated. Okay, so you're thinking, Tim, why don't you just win the game here? Attack with a character that draws a card. Your Meshach draws a card, and draw your Crowd's Choice. Use Crowd's Choice to go grab your second coming, and then win the game, right, Tim? Or Tim, if you don't even like that, you could use your Angel Chariots. Play it on your guy, attack, and draw 2 cards, and win the game that way, too. No, guys, no. I don't want to win this game. I just want to attack with I want to attack with the Abed-nego and put a Daniel card on top of my deck, underdeck my, oh gosh, guys. And so I typed whoops because I just realized how dumb that was. Okay, so we're doing this the hard way. Cannot be negated. Daniel Battle Chain. Okay, so this still might be good enough, but like, you know, I was just painfully bad. I just missed the drawing there and put my win con on the bottom of my deck. So I decided to play this game a little bit hard mode. So I have Foretelling Angel giving my Daniel characters cannot be negated, and I have a Servants by the River protecting Daniel humans from lone evil characters. Right, they're going to block outsiders. I don't know if they have territory advantage, but they get to draw 3 cards here. And let's see, what effects am I vulnerable to? I know he plays Scattered Sheep, but currently being protected because he's a lone evil character, so he somehow has to get another evil character into battle. And I already saw that this card was tossed. I don't know, and he already played his Warrior Overtaken and Murder's Command. So I don't know if there's another way to get evil character into battle. And I did end up searching my reserve, so opponent, I think if I was a little bit more explicitly clear about what I was doing, he would have got this dull trigger, which could have helped him. He was trying to dig to his Scattered Sheep, but I'm not sure how he could have gotten somebody else into battle. All right, and so we just talked about the game a little bit after the match, and I got the game 5-4. It was a close game, and like I said, the opponent, Guardian, he found the line to win the game last turn after the game as he was thinking about it. That play with getting life through Christ to Simon the Zealous to making Herod Agrippa block. If I was smart, maybe if I was like super smart, a play I could have done to prevent that is like during his prep phase, I could have played Chronicle of the Kings to negate good enhancements. And so that would have negated any sort of if he would have went through life through Christ, that would have negated life through Christ. But I did not see that play coming at all. I wish this Daniel deck had a way to see opponent's hand. That would be really helpful. Maybe I should run 20 shekels. Okay, so changes I'm thinking about making to the deck. I want to add Endless Treasures to the deck. I feel like I need more ways to get Overtaken out. Also want to cut Reprimand Repercussion. Maybe add Revolt in. Take out Chronicles. Maybe add Valley of Dry Bones. And to try and help me against artifact decks, I could put curses in my reserve. Like, I could put Captured Arc. Let's see which. I could put this Captured Arc. I could negate and underdeck artifacts from opponents. So I could make my deck a more consistent Overtaken deck and also still hedge against the pot of mana deck. I think I'm also going to cut a weapon. I want to have more ways to draw cards with this deck. For the next version of this deck, I want to change up the soul package. I want to add more cards that give me some sort of draw power. So cards like Duel, cards like Lawless, cards that just give me more to work with. Because I was behind on cards that whole game, and I didn't like that at all. I think I'm going to add Shield into the deck. This card's just so good, especially if you're just playing Unity. It can give you free battle wins, you know. And like I said, I want to play Valley of Dry Bones. It also makes it interesting because I'm playing stocks. I can use stocks to capture their heroes, and then Valley of Dry Bones to add them to battle. So that's another interesting angle of attack. So I hope with those little changes, this deck will get a little bit more card drawy. I really like Herod Philip in the deck. Just getting that extra card draw on defense is really nice. Herodias Daughter, I don't know. Feeling like cutting this card. Maybe put a Malachite Slave back in the deck, just so I can get to my Herods out faster. I noticed I haven't really been wanting to underdeck a good card in territory that often. Because most of the time their territory is like protected or something. And I'm not seeing opponents play Three Woes on good all that often. Especially against the Herods, because a lot of stuff is CBP. So I don't know, this is a card I'm thinking about cutting. I really like Buckler. I know I only play maybe 1 or 2 weapons in the deck, but card is good. All right, yeah, sorry, I was just looking at the deck list and just floating one card at a time to you guys, but I should have been doing it like this. Hope you've been liking these Daniel games as a change of pace of Gospel of Christ good stuff. We're doing Daniel tryouts. And here's the reserve I'm trying to look at right now. I'm kind of wanting 2 Daniel cards in there, Shadrach and Swift Beings. I don't know. I don't know if this is good or not. More card draw. I can put it on top of my deck, draw it, get some more card draw when I need it. And then I'm trying to figure out like what kind of curses I can put in here. I can put Goliath's Curse in there, put Peter's Curse, Captured Arc. But then I like, oh man, I want to keep all this room for the Clinging to Power and Foreign Spears and Foreign Horses, Contagious Fear. So my reserve's a little packed at the moment. If you guys have any suggestions about what to cut, tell me in the comments.